Business English, cut the jargon in presentations. And before we dive in further, don't forget to check out this free ebook on our website. The link is below. And now let's begin. Let's start off by asking the question, what is jargon? It refers to specialized language used in a specific field. And while it's useful for experts, it can alienate people who aren't familiar with it. Jargon can include terms like customer relationship management, CRM, KPIs, key performance indicators, or blockchain. Now, these terms are common in certain industries, but can confuse people outside of those fields. Let's look at how to simplify jargon so your audience can follow along. Simplifying jargon makes your presentation more accessible. It ensures your audience stays engaged. And remember, your goal is to communicate, not to impress with technical terms. When presenting technical concepts, it's important to make your language accessible to everyone in the room. Here are 3 effective techniques to simplify jargon with detailed explanations and examples. Firstly, replace jargon with plain language. Jargon often uses technical or industry-specific terms that can confuse people who aren't familiar with them. Replacing these terms with plain everyday language makes your presentation easier to follow. For example, a jargon sentence could read like, "The API application programming interface allows seamless integration between platforms." And simplified in plain language, the API application programming interface is a tool that helps 2 systems communicate with each other. Instead of using the term API application programming interface, which might be unfamiliar to some, you explain its function in simple terms. So you think about what the audience needs to know, and in this case, that it's a tool for communication between systems. Here we have another example of jargon, the CAGR, compound annual growth rate of our revenue is 10% over the last 3 years. In plain language, our revenue has grown by an average of 10% each year over the last 3 years. In this case, CAGR, compound annual growth rate, is a financial term that might confuse non-experts. By breaking it down into average growth per year, you make it easier to understand. And here's a quick tip. When replacing jargon, ask yourself, what does this term actually mean? Then explain it in a way that someone outside your field would understand. Focus on the function or purpose of the term rather than the technical details. Secondly, we can simplify jargon with analogies and metaphors. These are powerful tools for making technical concepts relatable. They connect unfamiliar ideas to something your audience already understands. And once again, we have an example. In jargon, an API application programming interface is a tool that helps 2 systems communicate. The analogy: an API is like a waiter in a restaurant. It takes your order to the kitchen and brings your food back. In this case, the analogy of a waiter makes the concept of an API more visual and relatable, just as a waiter acts as a bridge between you and the kitchen. An API acts as a connector between 2 systems. Our next example: in jargon, a firewall protects your network from unauthorized access. The analogy: A firewall is like a security guard. It blocks unauthorized people from entering a building. And in this case, the metaphor of a security guard helps the audience picture how a firewall works. It's easier to understand blocking unauthorized access when compared to a real-world scenario. Our next example, we have the jargon. A neural network is used to classify data. The analogy. A neural network is like a brain. It learns from examples to make decisions. And the analogy makes sense and is clearer, as comparing a neural network to a brain makes the concept more natural. It helps the audience understand that the system learns from data, just as a brain learns from experience. And the tip when using analogies is choose examples that are familiar to your audience. Analogies should simplify the concept, not add confusion. Thirdly, when simplifying jargon, we can break down complex terms. Sometimes a single technical term can feel overwhelming. Breaking it into smaller, simpler parts make it easier to understand, and I'll show you how to do this. So you might have in a presentation, the jargon would look like this. A machine learning model processes data to make predictions. When we break this down, think of a machine learning model as a recipe. It gives the computer step-by-step instructions on how to solve a problem. For example, if you want the computer to recognize pictures of cats, the model teaches it to look for patterns like fur, whiskers, and ears. So in this case, by comparing the formula to a recipe, you've made the process clearer. Adding a specific example, recognizing cats, helps the audience visualize how it works. Our next example, the jargon is blockchain is a decentralized ledger that records transactions securely. Let's break it down. Think of blockchain as a digital notebook. Everyone in the group has a copy of the notebook, and every time someone writes something in it, everyone else's notebook gets updated. This makes it secure because no one can change the information without everyone agreeing. In this case, breaking down blockchain into smaller ideas, a digital notebook, group updates, and security makes it easier to grasp. The step-by-step explanation helps the audience follow along. Our next example, we have jargon. Cloud computing provides scalable on-demand access to computing resources. Let's break it down. Cloud computing is like renting a storage unit. Instead of buying your own space, you rent it when you need it. For example, if you need extra storage for your files, you can use the cloud to store them online instead of buying a new hard drive. So that was an effective breakdown. Comparing cloud computing to renting storage makes the concept more relatable. It focuses on the benefit on-demand access rather than the technical details. And a helpful tip when breaking down terms, use simple step-by-step explanations and examples that show how the concept works in real life. Here now are some useful phrases to help you simplify jargon during your presentation, and these phrases signal to your audience that you are about to explain something in a way that's easy to understand. In simple terms, this means, and an example, our CRM system leverages machine learning to improve customer retention. In simple terms, this means the system uses data to predict what our customers need and helps us keep them happy. To put it another way, an example, the API facilitates seamless data exchange between the front-end and back-end systems. To put it another way, it's a tool that allows different parts of the software to talk to each other and share information. What this really means is, an example, the software uses predictive analytics to optimize supply chain efficiency. What this really means is, it analyzes past data to predict future trends so we can deliver products faster and more efficiently. Think of it like this. An example, blockchain is a decentralized ledger that records transactions securely. Think of it like this. It's a digital notebook that everyone in a group can see and update, but no one can change without everyone agreeing. Now it's your turn to practice simplifying jargon. I'll give you a technical sentence, and after each one, you'll have time to rewrite it in plain language. You can also try using analogies or breaking the terms into smaller parts. Pause the video to write your answer, and then I'll show you an example answer. Let's begin. Sentence 1. The software uses predictive analytics to optimize supply chain efficiency. Pause the video and write an answer. And an example answer is, the software analyzes past data to predict future trends, helping us to deliver products faster and more efficiently. Our next sentence, our CRM system leverages machine learning to improve customer retention. Pause the video and write an answer. And an example answer is, our CRM system uses data to learn about our customers and predict what they might need, so we can keep them happy and engaged. Our next sentence, blockchain technology ensures data integrity through decentralized consensus. Pause the video and write your answer. And an example answer is, blockchain is like a digital notebook that everyone in a group can see and update. It's secure because no one can change the information without everyone agreeing. Our next sentence is, the API facilitates seamless data exchange between the front-end and back-end systems. Pause the video and write your answer. And an example answer is, the API is a tool that helps different parts of the software communicate and share information with each other. And remember, this activity helps you practice simplifying technical language in a way that's clear and accessible. Importantly, there's no single right answer. What matters is that your explanation is easy to understand. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you'd like to sign up to the special offer for our Business English Presentations course, the link is in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the To Me Business English channel. See you in the next lesson.